First off, I'd like to say that you guys have a very unique area. And we as a team that coming in here, we are really appreciating what you guys have and understanding the concerns that you have. Now, as an incident management team, I work for a couple bosses, and two of my bosses are sitting over there, or standing over there, I should say. And it's the Bea that I work for, and also New Mexico State Forestry. And these people had the foresight to understand that they needed some help, and we were very glad to come in to assist in trying to get this fire under control. With that, let me step off the podium a little bit, and then I'll give you an update because I've got a handy dandy in here. So as you know, the last 2 days were very active. Yesterday, well, let me go back just a little bit more. We took command of this incident on Sunday morning at 6 o'clock. So we had a day, you remember we had some weather that came in and kind of gave us a day or so to kind of get our feet on the ground, kind of figure out what was going on. And then when we took it, the team that had it, the Type 3 team that had it, actually initiated a burnout operation around Sulphur Creek area. And there's a dozer line that was put in right in this area. So we were able to complete the burnout of that area and really to secure that. Yeah, I guess I need that. It's kind of driving. But we were able to secure any further spread into the communities with that operation, and to date, that's holding very well. I think if you are up in that area or coming around, you can see at least the volume of smoke is definitely reduced in there. Doesn't mean that it's out of danger right now, just because we have a lot of active fire that's going on. So yesterday, what happened was, as the humidity, as the humidity dropped, it didn't take very long, and that plume of smoke came up. And it's quick. And this is such an indication of just how dry these fuels are. So what happened was, the fire was sitting probably right around in here yesterday when that plume stood up. This is what took off this section, as well as there was an area that is down on the southern end, and it was backing down, and the wind caught a spot and brought it over to the base of this drainage, and that's what went up Redondo yesterday, and it pretty much went up the chute. It threw a lot of spots over in here, and you can see these red dots. This is from our IR flight. We get a flight every night, and it's infrared imaging. We can really see what we have out there in the morning. It gives the firefighters a really good tool to be able to see what we've got. So this is where we sat this morning. We knew we had active, really active fire all the way up in this north, and this is certainly a concern for us. And understanding the significance of Redondo Peak and all of the cultural areas that are on that peak. So what we are trying to do is to have the intensity of the fire very low as we can, understanding that it's so dry out there, it doesn't take a lot. But we're trying to do that, and that's why today we took advantage of the early morning conditions, and we ordered retardant. Now, I'm sure you've been seeing the retardant plants coming in, and our main purpose was we wanted to put a lot of retardant on this edge just to keep it from how we say getting in alignment with the winds. And when I mean that, I mean if this say it lower down on the slope, this fire moves around, and with the southwest winds, it can catch that edge of the fire and push that fire into a more what we call a plume-dominated fire, and that's where you'll see the big columns. That's not a good thing to see. So what we want to try and do is just keep that. It's pretty much, I wouldn't say an even edge, but at least it's able to back down the slope, and this is what we want to do, because that means the fire's coming down at a lower intensity. Not, we want to keep it on the ground, we don't want to get it up in the crowns. And when you see twins like this, it's in the crowns. So this afternoon, this area to the north pretty much, surprisingly, I have no idea why, but it pretty much stayed in that Alamo Canyon. It didn't make any further moves to the north. Alamo Canyon. But the majority of the activity is in this area. It was pushing towards this area and on the north side of Redondo Peak. But with that, these spots also got active, and it is making it's not a big push, and luckily we're getting into the time of night where and there really hasn't been any RH recovery. And usually what we mean by that is that the RHs are going up, so the fire behavior modifies a little bit, or moderates a little bit. Last time we didn't do that. Didn't have that as much. And tonight we're predicted not to have that either. So it's going to be a fairly active night. But what we are trying to do is at least it's coming down on the ground. The fire is staying on the ground as it's coming off on the slope. With the retardant drop, in addition to this area, we are now coming, this road right here is going to be our first, we're going to try and fire off of this road. When I mean fire, we need to put fire on the ground, because what it's doing is threatening the ranch headquarters right now. Now it's not making a big push, but it is there and we need to address it, and it's a really opportune time tonight with the conditions, and we do have resources that are out there and they burn through the night. And this is some of the reasons why Josh is really having an interesting time, because of all the smoke that is generated from this. But this is the best time for exposure for our firefighters. It keeps them at the safest part of the operation if we can at least mitigate or initiate those operations when the conditions are a little less severe. So what we're trying to do, the DC-10 actually laid some retardant in here later tonight. I think we had a couple loads in there, so I think that's going to give, it's going to give our firefighters a great shot at trying to get the fire around the headquarters. The other thing that happened today is that what we're trying to do, eventually we will put fire all the way around out to this line, eventually. We want to be patient as we do this. Again, it goes back into trying to get some lower intensities. But with the conditions that are out there, we cannot go in on those slopes. I'm not going to send those firefighters in there to do that, because it's a huge exposure for those guys. And I don't want to get them hurt. I want to try and keep them as safe as I can. So what we're going to do is, they try to do a little burnout right up in here so we can get a good anchor point where we've got hard black that we can tie into and continue around with the burning operation. So again, we can get good black out to the control line. The reason I say good black is that that's the best way to hold the fire, to take the fuel loading away from it. So when in the process of doing this, and in the process and understanding the conditions that we are in, they put fire on the ground, and within, I would say, minutes, it's spotted across our road right here. And being an IC, I don't get to be out on the fire line anymore, so it's not like I know exactly where it's at, but they give me a location. I think they keep trying to keep me in the dark as much as the operation does. However, I do know a general location, but it's right on this slope. It's about 200 acres, and they have, from the last update that I've got, they're going to catch it tonight. So that's a great job for our firefighters. Just because, as you know, when you go further, there is a pipeline, gas pipeline right here that we actually had to shut down. with timing in there, when we were talking with the utility company, they needed at least an 8-hour lead time so that they could do that. They were actually got it done in 2 hours. So they've been, the utility companies, all of our cooperators have been just excellent partners with us to try to get a handle on this fire, so we appreciate that. So I think we'll be in good shape. Again, time will tell. We got the nighttime conditions. We're going into a great time to try and get that help. So it's just been another day at the office, really. And I don't mean that lightly. I'm just saying that it's been a very active day. Now, what we're concerned about is that, you know, the monsoons are really, I don't know when the monsoons are coming.
Not soon enough.
Yeah, try and pinpoint a meteorologist with that, and I think you'll have a tough time. But we are still several weeks into this burn operation. And remember when I said we wanted to try and do this, have patience with this as we bring fire around, because we do not want to put fire on the base of the slope, let it run up and take all the fuel out of that. Because when the monsoons come, you know what happens. Exactly. So this is why you guys and all these communities are probably going to be dealing with smoke for a while. And we understand, and I will tell you that I went up to Idaho last year and along the Salmon River, and I was in smoke for a while, and it affects me now as I have gray hair. So I understand the impacts that you guys are dealing with. But I hope that you understand what we're dealing with too. We want to try and get this wrapped up as soon as we can, but we want to make sure that we're taking care in what we're doing. Because I'm in charge of almost 500 people up there. That's my job to keep them safe. And I'm going to try everything that I can to do that. So, we have aircraft and retardants. Again, I've got great bosses that have been very supportive of what we're doing, and we appreciate that. And all of our cooperators from Sandoval County all the way across to the district. So I appreciate everyone's patience with us. We're not very patient people, I understand, but that's almost kind of the word that we're kind of doing. That's it.
Josh, come on.